Hello everyone, welcome to Jackie Does Stuff. I'm Jackie, I do stuff. So today I wanted to show you my garden, or at least part of it. My garden's kind of a hot mess right now, but I wanted to at least show you one part of it that I'm really proud of, and it's this right here. This is what I'm calling the meadow. I've kind of like outlined it with some scrap wood here. And these are some pavers that, oh, hello shadow. These are some pavers that I found somewhere else in the garden. This place that I live in a house. I'm very lucky to live in a house. And some people lived here before us. So every so often I discover some secrets that they've left behind for me. But yeah, this part right here I'm really proud of. I call this the meadow. It's this part that I've kind of like walled off a little bit just for wildflowers. I was aiming for native only wildflowers for like pollinator support and for general biodiversity and sustainability. Because native plants host the widest range of insects and microbial life, and it's generally better for the soil and the air and also the birds and the other wildlife that comes through. But some other flowers also play nice, so those are in here as well. As you can see, some of them are not really like out yet. I started this meadow a couple of years ago, and I kind of just threw a bunch of stuff in there and I wanted to see what would stick. And so far every year has been almost completely different. So I have like no idea what to expect. And that's kind of my favorite part of the meadow is every year whatever comes up. And I do a little bit of management, and I'll tell you why in a second. But let me introduce you to some of my floral friends in here, because some flowers have come up. So here we have one of my favorite flowers, blanket flower. Some people call it Indian blanket flower. I guess that's another traditional name for it, but I avoid calling it that because I don't really like to refer to indigenous people as Indian, although I know that sometimes in the literature that is what they're referred to, so you can't really go without it that much, but I try not to when talking about this flower. But I do want to acknowledge what the blanket refers to. These I'm pretty sure are Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susans. They haven't opened yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I use an app called iNaturalist, and I use another app called PlantNet in order to identify the plants. I could probably identify them myself, but I am not that good at that yet. Oh, this is one I haven't seen yet, so I have no idea what that is. But there's let's do these ones right here. So these are Coreopsis. These aren't the same Coreopsis that I've had before, because I had some Plains Coreopsis that I threw in here a year or two ago, and those ones have kind of like red on, kind of like with the blanket flower where there's red and yellow. So this must be a different varietal. I kind of just threw I threw some tallgrass prairie seeds in here, I think from Prairie Moon Nursery. I got a packet of seeds many years ago when my mother died. Shout out to the funeral home where her funeral was, because they gave us a packet of wildflower seeds. So I've thrown those in here as well. I have no idea when those are going to come up, but that's a very cool thought for me. We have here something called Candy Tuft, which I've never seen in here before. I thought that those were catch flies, which I think is what this is right here, the pink one. I think that's a catch fly. This right here is called Larkspur. That one I just noticed today. I've never seen her in here before. A lot of these ones like this, and this, those are wild sunflowers, Helianthus annuus. I got the wild variety because, I like planting sunflowers, especially because, they're beautiful, but also they do a lot of work in the soil. They like suck up all the lead and stuff, and because I live in a particular area of Massachusetts, there's a lot of lead in the soil, so they're helping me to clean up a little bit in here. But I wanted the wild variety of them because I wanted them to kind of express themselves however they wanted, and then some of them would succeed and some of them wouldn't. So you can see actually in here, hang on, let me come around in here. The light's about to change. Woo. Yeah, see, this is like a huge one. You can tell that this sunflower is very different from some of the other ones which are still a little smaller. So this one seems to be more of like a cultivated one. If you're not aware of the difference between cultivated and wild, I will definitely get into that at some point. But all you got to know is that the cultivated ones are the ones that were gently nudged along by humans. Yeah, where is it? Yes. So as you can see, there's some damage on here, so it's either diseased or it has some pest damage or whatever. This one as well. So I do a little bit of management in here with the sunflowers because some of them do really, really well and some of them look really nasty pretty soon. So what I try to do is I take the ones that look pretty bad, and either I fully pull it up. If it was small and it had visible disease, I would just pull it up and get rid of it. But since this one is so well established and most of it looks pretty good, I'm just going to take the diseased part and I'm going to fully just get rid of it. And the reason I'm doing that is because the way that I figure it, I am kind of encouraging the ones that are doing well to continue to grow, and the ones that aren't doing well, I'm just going to get rid of it before it sets seed, because the seeds that it will produce are probably also not going to do well. It's not because I don't love the sunflowers or anything, but yeah, that's why I wanted to do the wild varieties, because they're going to have the most genetic diversity, and so some of it will do well and some of it won't. So the ones that don't do well I get rid of, the ones that do well I keep, and then their offspring are more likely to do better next year. And that, I guess, is probably what you might call a land race, like me encouraging the plants that do the best to continue to stay here and do the best. But yeah, it's about 9 in the morning here. I'm hiding in the shade because it's fully 100 degrees out today, already at 9 a.m. But you can kind of see a little bit of insect activity in here. And that's another reason why I have this meadow here, is to help with the pollinators, to help with the birds and whatnot, which is very nice for them, but it's also nice for me because that means that they do all sorts of work for me. So the pollinators will come and they'll pollinate my actual, I guess what you might call crops. I'm just going to really quick give you see, it's really awful out here, oh my goodness. But yeah, I have other stuff growing in my garden. The insects will come for the flowers and stay for the other stuff that they're less interested in. And then also the insects will attract birds, and the birds will come and they'll eat all the insects I don't want to be here. So this meadow is helping me with natural pest management. It doesn't do all of the job, obviously, but it does a lot of work. And that's why I feel comfortable giving up a huge part of my garden for non-productive plants. This tall boy right here, that is goldenrod, and that actually is kind of everywhere. It's a little bit of a weed, to be honest. So I'm trying to kind of pull up the goldenrod that's outside of the meadow, just so that the ones that are inside can be the only one, because it spreads like crazy. Last year it was almost this whole thing out here. So it was very nice, and the bees loved it, but it just took up way too much space. It was not a very good neighbor. And I want to show you the rest of my garden later, but I kind of just wanted to focus on the meadow for now. I'm so happy with the diversity already. The last couple of years, it was very single species heavy. So in the first year, hardly anything grew at all, and then kind of only one type of flower grew, and then last year it was kind of all sunflowers because I accidentally used way too many seeds. Whoops. And so this year I'm actually really happy with kind of the balance of the colors and the shapes and everything. I think that makes it a little bit more attractive. But it's not even July yet. We still have a long season ahead of us, so we'll see what comes of the meadow. But yeah, thank you so much for coming along on my the first of what I hope are many garden tours. Thank you for checking out my meadow, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.